In Vitamina C, we've already talked about seaweeds, their virtues, and their application in the pharmaceutical and dietary industry. However, there are other types of seaweed that produce a phenomenon known as red tide, which can represent a threat for fishing and tourism. The harmful seaweed's blooms, or red tide, are produced by cyanobacterial, microalgae, and ciliate, not only by seaweeds. The name of red tide is due to the color that gets the sea when the harmful organisms that compose it abound. The presence of this type of seaweeds must be considered alarming because it brings with it the death of fish, crustaceans, birds, and even humans. The red tide is a phenomenon with a natural origin, produced by the high temperatures of the sea. Some ocean currents, the vertical movements of masses of water from the depth to the surface, but also they have other factors that promote their appearance, like the water that ships carry, and of course, the pollution generated by human beings that have to do with the tourist activities and the aquaculture. When the coasts are alert about a phenomenon like this, economic consequences are triggered, particularly in fishing activities, because the emergence of these harmful seaweed blooms contaminates the sea products, causing health disorders by intoxications that in serious cases can lead to the death. Since the red tide is a difficult phenomenon to avoid and more yet to predict, the scientific objective is generate timely to avoid the different effects and anticipate information throughout the monitoring of vulnerable zones in order to work on prevention. With the support of scientific communities on marine science area, like is the case of UABC, there have been development networks that have appropriate information about this topic to disclose in the productive sector, in the health institutions, and in the general population. If you live in coastal regions and used to consuming fish and seafood, make sure about the conditions of the tides in your locality. Avoid consuming this type of products and sharing the information with your community. If you want to remember what we talk about another type of seaweed, we invite you to revisit a chapter of Vitamina C about seaweeds and life at the sea. See ya!